And good Monday morning, everybody. How are you doing? Hope you had a great weekend. Hey, Judy, good morning. Good morning. God bless you as well. Good morning, Bonnie. Good to see you. How is everybody? Did you have a fast weekend, slow weekend? Michael, good to see you. Been a while. Glad you're back. At least for today, right? You're back. Good to see everybody. We can just wait a few more minutes for a couple people to come in if they're coming. If not, we'll just go ahead and keep on going. Howdy in the top of the morning to you, Debbie McDaniel. Say good morning, Debbie. Good morning, Susan, and everyone else. Please keep my friend Shauna in your prayers. She's in ICU with really bad pneumonia. She had a stroke and a bunch of other stuff, all non-virus related. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you, Kathy. We pray for her quick recovery. Kathy, I guess hopefully she didn't take something prior to being in the hospital. And you know what I'm thinking about, I think. Good morning, Debbie Treadway. Good to see you. Good morning, Lynn Matthews. It'd be interesting took anything, like we call a badge here on this platform. Good rainy Tennessee morning. Gosh, it was raining the last time, Sissy. Still raining. Wow. Hey, E. Whitty. Good morning. Good to see you. Let me go ahead and quickly read to you a little bit from Romans chapter 1, verses 18 through 23, and then we'll get started. For the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who suppress the truth in unrighteousness, because what may be known of God is manifest in them, for God has shown it to them. For since the creation of the world, his invisible attributes are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Because although they knew God, they did not glorify him as God, nor were thankful, but became futile in their thoughts, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Professing to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the incorruptible God into an image made like corruptible man and birds and four-footed animals and creeping things. Yep, and not a good idea to do that. No, nothing to do with it. Oh, Kathy, thank God. Hey, Brian, good morning. Good to see you. Sally, good morning. Good to see you. And we haven't seen Boston T in a while since the loss of his grandson. Praying for him, hoping that everything is going as well as can be expected right now for him. I hope we do see him soon. That would be good. I haven't heard anything, no, Judy, nothing about Corbin. So don't know what his progress is or anything else, which is, haven't seen Barbara here since the accident, really. So not really sure what's going on with that. All right. Now, professing to be wise even back then. I know, Lynn, some things just never change. They just never change. All right. So I want to bring up some breaking news. This is from the Supreme Court. Basically, it ruled 9-0 against non-citizens who entered the U.S. without authorization in the 1990s. They were allowed to remain in the country for humanitarian reasons under the temporary protected status program, and now seek green cards under the adjust status process. In plain English, it says a married couple entered the U.S. from El Salvador. They were protected from deportation under a program in which the U.S. doesn't send people back to nations in crisis. The couple applied to become lawful permanent U.S. residents. SCOTUS said they don't qualify. So, for all those people who came here legally and not under something that is supposed to be temporary and lasted forever, you can't apply for permanent status, and because your status is still illegal and you were here under a temporary protection type of status. And so, what can you do? Yes, the TPS, Lynn said. Okay, now moving on. We had, this is hard to believe, but hold on to your seats because you're probably just going to faint. But we had a victory, a Second Amendment victory from the Supreme Court in California. Actually not from the Supreme Court. Let me take that back. From a federal judge. California assault weapons ban disrespects freedom, the federal judge says. And I believe that was a federal judge, yes, it was, in San Diego. For more than 3 decades, California has banned certain types of semi-automatic rifles, including the AR-15, under an assault weapons ban. Friday, a federal judge threw out the ban, ruling that it violates the Second Amendment to the Constitution. The Second Amendment is about America's freedom, the freedom to protect oneself, family, home, and homeland. Judge Roger Benitez wrote for the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of California. California's assault weapons ban disrespects that freedom. Newsom called the decision a direct threat to public safety, and State Attorney General Rob Bonta said the state would appeal. Of course they will. Of course they will, because they don't want you to have your Second Amendment rights here in California. Good morning, Chezzy. I'm moving you to the TV. Okay. I have a prayer request for my friend Ruby and her family that lost her 26-year-old son. No details until after the autopsy. He just graduated from college and Thursday landed a great job. His sister found him Saturday. Whoa. I say the same question, Sally. I would be curious to know if he took something before, and Sally said she's concerned it might have been. That's horrible. Either way, we'll keep the family in prayer. Everybody please pray for Ruby and her family. That I can't even almost begin to imagine what they must be going through. Horrible. If you were looking to, for those people who may not like Bezos and you were looking to maybe just get him off the planet, right? Well, your prayers are going to be answered, right? He's going to go into space in July on the first crewed flight of his company, Blue Origin. And Blue, what a great name for a liberal to pick, Blue Origin. He's the founder of Amazon. He's set to fly into space in the first crewed passenger rocket ship, the New Shepard, made by his space company, Blue Origin. Kind of odd names, you know, and just in some respects, especially the New Shepard. So he's taking his younger brother with him. They're set to launch July 20th, 15 days after Bezos is set to retire as CEO of Amazon. So I guess when you have more money than you know what to do with, you just have to come up with new stuff that's going to make you happy. Robin said, my parents' friends took the badge and now the husband is blind. They're not even relating it to the badge. Wow. Okay. That'd be interesting to hear what they think, why he went blind, if he didn't have some pre-existing condition that would tend to make you blind, or nothing happened that would cause him to be blind, like an explosion or something like that. So that's really interesting, Robin. Wow. Okay. As many of you probably know, President Trump spoke on Saturday in North Carolina. Happy Monday, Susan. Thank you, Paula. Happy Monday to you. He didn't even wear glasses. Wow, Robin. Unbelievable. That's heartbreaking. Okay, so Trump says the survival of America depends on electing Republicans during 2022 midterms. And I would say that that's partially true, but the real truth is, unless America turns back to God and repents, then nothing in the 2022 midterms is really going to help much. And honestly, hey, Danielle, I spent so much time in churches on Sunday. I went to one service, listened to 2 or 3 others, I can't even remember now, online, and they all had the same message. Was pretty amazing to hear that these separate churches all were talking about the same thing, and that is that all of us need to become, repent, become disciples, not just followers of Christ, but disciples. And there is a big difference. And where we're headed, we've got to become stronger, and everything else where we're headed. So I think the churches are trying to strengthen people, and it's not to maybe to show them, it's not all about politics, and it may not be very much about politics when it comes right down to it, and that we can't follow a political leader, that we have to follow God and remember who controls that political leader, or who created at least that political leader. So follow the creator, not the creation. E. Whitty said neurological problems are connected to the badge. Yes, they are, amongst blood clots, heart problems. I heard over the weekend that there's heart inflammation problems with those in young people in Israel. He said a friend of mine was paralyzed from the waist down for 3 months and suddenly could walk again. Hopefully the sight comes back. Oh, all those things. Those are heart-wrenching stories, and there are just too many of them. All right, so now on to we talked about God, so let's talk about the words of wisdom, if you will, coming from Twitter. Judy said our pastor talked about discipleship as well. Yeah, it's basically what everybody's talking about these days. It's the talk around the town these days with people. Here's the words of wisdom from Twitter. We are deeply concerned by the blocking of Twitter in Nigeria. Access to the free and open internet is an essential human right in modern society. We will work to restore access for all those in Nigeria who rely on Twitter to communicate and connect with the world. And Ted Cruz said, it's curious. In Twitter's own words, they are willfully denying Donald Trump an essential human right in modern society. But it's okay for them, not for you. So, they can say, hey, Melanie, they can say, you can have essential human rights, but you can't. You don't agree with our ideology, or we haven't brainwashed you yet. So we'll allow you in to try to brainwash you, and we'll keep everybody else out. Twitter and wisdom. I know they really don't go together, do they, Ewitty? Kathy said, I just remembered something that might be key to my friend's condition, and that is not only did she have previous heart issues and such, but her husband did recently partake in the badge. So I wonder if they may have something to contribute to my friend's current condition, maybe or maybe not. Kathy, that is a good thought that you came up with. Over the weekend as well, I watched many expert opinions from different doctors that say that people who are wearing the badge, let's say, can transmit spike things, let's just say spike, and the rest of the words, out of their bodies into other people's bodies. They talked about this was one that stuck in my brain. They talked about a lot of them, but one that really stuck in my brain, how parents are pushing their parents, the grandparents of their children, to go out and get the badge because, you can't go around my grandchildren or my children unless you grandparents go and get the badge. So there was one story that this doctor was talking about. I guess she remembered it too, and it stuck with her. There was a 20-month-old baby that had been around his badged grandparents that was having egg-sized blood clots coming out of it. And the stories went on and on with different things happening. So people, they're saying, because they don't know anything about this experimental badge at this point, that a lot of things are happening to people that they can't quite explain, like with having miscarriages and, heart problems are occurring, blood clots in people, on and on and on. So, and I'm sure if you go out there and look for the research like I did, you will find it. And again, these are people who are prominent people. Brian said, hypocrites, they block the U.S. president. Now they care about free speech. Well, they care about their free speech, Brian. And if you say what they want you to say, then that's free speech to them, and that's okay. But you can't have free thought connected with your own free speech. Lynn said, LOL, that's the backstory from Cruz comment. Oh, wow, Twitter is evil. Judy said, you're not wrong, Kathy. You might want to research that. Yeah. Bonnie, not a peep from MSM, though. True. Yeah. And Sally said, true, Brian. And what he said, proteins, meat-like substances. So, yeah, a lot of things happening to people that you're just not allowed to talk about. All right. Speaking of strange things that you're not allowed to talk about, this let me get it up on the screen. I found this to be very interesting. Now, this is from KQED, and this is about, we've talked about Cal exit before in California, and it sounds really good. California wants to kind of break away from the crazy part of California. I know, but there is more crazy than crazy, and they want to kind of break away and have their own country of sorts, if you will. Well, here's some interesting information that came up. It said from his home in Russia, Cal exit leader plots California secession. On paper, the leader of California's secession movement lives in an apartment complex near San Diego's Golden Hill neighborhood, but in reality, the Cal exit campaign is run by a 30-year-old who lives and works in a city edge of Siberia. Louis Marinelli heads the secessionist group, Yes, California. Following the election of Donald Trump to the presidency, the organization has gone from an unknown fringe group to one discussed seriously in mainstream media. Okay, I find that bit of news very, very odd. And it appears that the guy who is running for to replace Newsom, Mr. Whiteteeth, is this guy. He's one of the people who want to try to replace Newsom in the recall. So I find it interesting if he's really in Siberia. So anyway, and it looks like I've lost a couple of people who left, probably because I was, I don't know, talking ill about Twitter, or was it ill about Bezos? I don't know. But anyway, so sorry they're gone, but hopefully others will be back, or they won't, I guess. Judy said, good Lord. I know that it was kind of odd, don't you think? So speaking of odd things coming out of California, here's some more odd stuff that happened over the weekend. Remember Eric Swalwell, who could forget him, from California. He said, in addition to Brooks, okay, Swalwell is suing Mo Brooks, Donald Trump Jr., President Donald Trump, and Rudy Giuliani over the Capitol breach. He says that all four were guilty of a conspiracy to violate civil rights, incitement to riot, and terrorism. He's seeking monetary relief and is asking the court to grant punitive damages for emotional distress. Now, I don't know how with Swalwell they're going to figure out what the emotional distress came from himself or somebody else. Audience to them, Jules said, I know, Jules, it's like, okay, truth is probably something they don't want to hear. And you come here for truth because I'm trying to give it to you for those who want to hear it. I know that your governor giving out a lot of free items after being recalled. Yes, he is, isn't he? And I'll tell you in a minute what else he's doing. Okay. This is from Mo Brooks. Well, Swalwell finally did his job. He served the complaint on my wife, not on Mo Brooks. Horrible. Swalwell's team committed a crime, Mo says, by unlawfully sneaking into my house, and accosting my wife. Alabama Code 13A-7-2, first-degree criminal trespass. Penalty is a year in jail and $6,000 fine. More to come. So hopefully they go back after Swalwell and get the money from him, if that's the case, and could go to jail for a year if need be. You're so controversial, Susan. You need to just talk about how wonderful our president and the faux cha-ching are, and what a great job they're doing. I know, Melanie, that would not get me in trouble. Judy said, which is why he's a politician and doesn't practice law. About Swalwell. Lynn said, well, AOC is in therapy. Maybe she and Swalwell share a therapist. Well, maybe they share a girlfriend too. I don't know. From China, we never talk about anymore with Eric. He should sue Pelosi for dereliction of duty for not activating the National Guard, Ewity said. Yeah, but when you're beholden, as they say, to her, you're not going to sue her, because she's got the ice cream that you might want later on, if you know what I'm talking about. Now, the one thing that Governor Newsom is doing, he's handing out money. He did that whole lottery on Friday, handing out money. Here's cash. Just go get the badge, and we'll give you more chances to win millions of dollars in our jab, roulette wheel, whatever. Also, he was supposed to take off the veil, all the veil, what do you want to call it? Prohibitions, you're supposed to get rid of the veil, right? On June 15th. Now, Cal OSHA has talked him into keeping the veil for employees. And what it means is this, that if you're an employee in a company where everybody has had the badge, but let's say one person hasn't, that means all of you have to wear the veil. And so that's going to discriminate against that one employee or however many that aren't allowing everybody else not to have the veil. And it's going to make them be pressured into getting the badge, if you know what I'm saying. And so Peggy Hall, the Healthy American, did a very good YouTube on that, saying that all that stuff from Cal OSHA and them trying to make it sound like they are laws aren't. What it does, the only requirement in the thing that she read that I saw was that you have to provide an N95, make it available for the person who did not get the badge. And so then everybody else can take off their veil. However, that person who you have to make available the N95 does not have to wear it, nor do they have to wear a veil. So what they're doing again in California, from what I'm understanding it is that they're trying to make it sound like this is a law, you must follow it. If you don't follow it, there will be penalties, blah, blah, blah. What Peggy read, that doesn't say that anywhere. So again, employers need to do their own research, quit listening to BS garbage and believing everything that they hear. Judy said, their attitude makes me mad. Minneapolis riots every single night, but they're concerned about their mental health from the 6th. AOC wasn't even there. She blocks away, it was reported. Well, she was there in spirit, sure, Judy, Well, Susan, this is insanity. Yes, it is, Sally. It is. It is insanity. And that's even more reason why employers should know that this is insanity. Go out and do your own research. Quit punishing your employees in any way. Don't discriminate against the employees like they're trying to make you do in California. And, somebody's got to file a lawsuit. All right. Some employer out there, you've got to file a lawsuit. You got to quit doing this. It's ridiculous. Now, another thing that Newsom won't do, he won't give up his emergency powers. He's going to change everything. Hey, Monique, everything on June 15, right, where we don't have to wear the veil any longer. But he's already said, I'm not going to give you back my emergency powers. Why? Because I'm king. He didn't quite say it like that, but he's king dictator. And here's what he did say in so many words. You never know when another emergency might happen. Isn't that interesting? You never know when an emergency might happen, so that the dictator king may have to use his powers again. Now, this Alex Berenson had a different opinion. He said Governor Whiteteeth is tired of Sacramento and has a CNN gig lined up, methinks. So Ashley here, Zavala said, Governor Gavin Newsom says he will not end California's pandemic-related state of emergency on June 15th. He notes the pandemic is still not over. At least in his mind, it certainly isn't. There are attorneys that publish paperwork for people to file with their company to try to protect their rights. Yes, you can go to the Healthy American. She has forms for you. for religious exemption in case you don't want to take the badge. And you can get that, download it, and give it to your employer as well. Now, here's some information. Gavin Newsom pardons murderers, bank robbers, kidnappers, and killer for hire. Adhering to his 2020 budget plan to close 2 California prisons, Newsom is releasing 76,000 in. So he announced on Friday, before the Memorial Day holiday weekend, that he granted 14 pardons. Get this, 14 pardons, 13 commutations, and 8 medical reprieves for murderers, bank robbers, armed robbers, kidnappers, killers for hire, kidnappers, drivers of getaway cars for murderers, and assaulters with firearms. So, congratulations to those people who are now getting out, getting on the street, and just in time for the veil to be lifted and for you to be moving around freely as possible. Thank you to the governor. Also, as we know, during slavery, California was a real hotbed. If you go back and you read your history books, you know that California was at the center of everybody in California owning slaves, right? Yeah, I'm being sarcastic. Well, anyway, California is moving forward with reparations to create more equitable future. So in a state that probably was a dot on the map during the civil rights era, it's more of the South, as I recall. Now they're going to move forward with reparations. So not only are we paying money out of our pockets to illegals, but now we're going to look for reparations. I know all those people who aren't in California will go, well, I don't really care. That's crazy California. Not so fast, because a lot of that money is not coming from California taxpayers. It's coming from the federal government. And I would say that California has a way to get money from the federal government because, it's a Democrat-run state. Kathy said, what the heck is wrong with that guy? Good grief. Oh, Kathy, if you only had an hour or two, we could go into it further about what's wrong with him. And again, this is the guy that you may see on the ticket for 2024 presidential election. Okay, as far as education in California, the CTA Democrats are the power and politics behind the bill to defund California charter schools. Lawsuit asks, who is California's education system intended to serve? The children, the adults. So the California Teachers Association and Democrats and unions are all behind getting rid of charter schools. So they really want you to go to public schools or nothing at all. They really don't like homeschools in California, and they're trying to regulate them too. Kroger's now plays propaganda on the PA system that fully badged people don't have to wear a veil. Yeah, and hey, Gary, good to see you. And of course, they're not going to ask you, Sally, at least not yet, whether you have been or not. They're trying to defund then here as well. Wow. And that just goes to show you how good that charter schools can be if they're trying to get rid of them. I'm for reparations for every living slave freed in what was, again, 1876. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so let's move on to other news. And if you will, we're at the halfway point. If you could retweet this, share it, that would be great. For all those people who want to hear the truth. If they don't. Robin said, I don't wear them in Kroger's or anywhere else. Yeah. All right. So our foe, VP, I'm black and I'm against reparation. Well, Brian, anybody should be, I am, I know there's a lot, but I have some Native American blood in me, or as Native Americans say, Indian blood. I know we're not allowed to say Indian anymore, but anyway, and I'm not asking for reparations. I'm also a female who didn't get the right to vote before all men of all colors got the right to vote, or at least white and black men. Should I call for reparations for that? Maybe we should. Maybe the women should start calling for reparations for how they were treated as property a long time ago. I just think it's ridiculous because my ancestors and what they did, I have no control over that whatsoever. Kathy said, I've noticed many establishments around here that have those signs saying if you've been badged, you don't have to wear a veil. Yeah. And let them ask you, Kathy, and then they're not going to. All right. Now, the faux BP she went to the borders, just not ours. The whole world knows that Trump won. This woman is saying Taylor Day, and the VP dropped out of the Democrat race with less than 1% support from her own party. But when she went to Guatemala, she was greeted with a sign of "Go home," and Trump won. So, they're not happy to see her, but that's the only border she's visited so far. I'm a woman and I want your money. Exactly, Robin. I think we should all, as women, band together and ask for reparations. Now, in California, you'd probably get them because they will give you any money that you want in California. So maybe we should all bring that lawsuit here in California for women. We'll do a class action suit for all women that ever walked the face of the planet. We're asking for reparations because we didn't get the right to vote until later. Our right to vote after the black man got the right to vote. Thank you, Guatemala. I know, Brian. So we should all just ask for reparations for everything. Didn't wear a veil in over 2 weeks. Every time people say badged like us. Yeah. And Winnie, when they say that, run away from them. Get as far away as you possibly can from them. Guatemala got it right. I know, Sissy. So let's just see what was happening at our border while the faux VP was over in Guatemala's border. Let me see. All right. So 10,864 Venezuelans pour into the Texas border region. That's 135 from last year. So on any given day, they said hundreds of Venezuelans wade across the Rio Grande from Mexico into the U.S. They're carrying more belongings than aliens from most other countries. One woman who said she was a photographer back home had her professional Nikon camera equipment in her backpack. They arrive on shore and proceed to change into dry clothes, discarding the wet ones on the ground. Discarded shoes, many looking new, dot the pathway up from the river in two main locations. Some pull toothbrushes and clean their teeth, and on and on and on. And they wait for the Border Patrol or the state troopers, whoever it is, to come pick them up. So there you go. Hey, Sharon, much love to you. We have lots of planes fly over from Nashville airport. Maybe I should paint the roof to say Trump won. There you go. So we're getting Venezuelans. Unfortunately, they're probably going to be disappointed thinking that they're coming to a country that's free and not like the one they just left. While they get here, they're going to realize that we're taking on traits that the country they just left have that they didn't like. So that should scare them. I don't know if it'll scare them back to Venezuela, but it will certainly should scare them. Now let's look at another part of our country that I don't know is having some issues. Just a typical weekend in Chicago, unfortunately, says Jason Rantz on KTTH Radio. Chicago weekend shootings, 55 wounded, 5 killed. Great. Just another typical weekend in Chicago. Some things never change. And speaking of Chicago and their utmost respect for the police, I want to show you this little quick little video that just shows you how much that the people in Chicago, not all people, some people in Chicago really, really respect the police and what they think about the police. So let me get this up for you and we'll get this started. And it's just a quick video. So there you go. That was, showing respect for the police. That's all that was. So sad, and they won't change with current administration. No, no. But that was. Can you imagine? I know, sickening. I know, Michael. I just. What would be so bad is to know, like, you had a daughter that was out on the top of the police car doing that. I would disown my daughter. Looks like Minneapolis, Judy said. Woody said last year there were about 260 Russians caught at the border. This year, about 2,260 plus, and many, many other nationalities. Yeah, everybody's coming across the border. I mean, anybody that you knew, don't know, thought you would never know, whatever, everybody and anybody is coming across that border like crazy as quickly as they can get in, because they know they're not going to get deported. And most of them know they're not going to get caught, and they can just stay here. And they're all over the United States. They're not coming just to Texas or California and staying here. They're going everywhere. And that's just what they'll do. Okay. Now, this is a kind of a for anybody, but I guess for women more so, but it's for anybody. It's a message for anybody. And this is just a public service announcement for you that I found that I thought would be good to show you. It's taking a minute to get up. I don't know why. Okay, here we go. But this is kind of a strange event. So this woman, a Texas woman on TikTok, it goes viral after she finds a tracking device in her purse. She said that this weekend on Saturday, I went to a dinner with a group of friends for this girl's birthday party, and which was viewed by more than 190,000 people so far. No, more than 1 million times. Sorry. And she said, if you know me, I don't normally carry a purse, but on Saturday I did because we had decorations and stuff, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the night, I'm cleaning my purse out and I find this. If you know what this is, it's a tile. It's basically a tracker people put on their keys and whatnot. It's not mine. I don't know how it got in my purse. I immediately took the battery out. Don't worry, but yeah, I'll check your purses and stay safe out there. She adds in the chilling PSA of public service announcement. So in particular, I suppose, here's this tracker. This was, knows what the next new thing is going to be to try to track people and where they live. Let me just see if we have a little video I could play.
Okay, a quick story time / PSA for what it's worth category. This weekend on Saturday, I went to dinner with a group of friends for this girl's birthday. You know me, I don't normally carry a purse, but on Saturday I did because we had decorations and stuff for the table. Anyways, at the end of the night, I'm cleaning my purse out and I find this. If you don't know what this is, it's a tile. It's basically a tracker for, people put it on their keys and whatnot. It's not mine. I don't know how it got in my purse.
So, especially for young girls, I think, who are dating, going out to different places, this is one more thing that you need to check and make sure that you're safe. I'm seeing women begging with children on the side of the road that look like they just came across the border. Sally said, wow, they can track you through your phone. This has to be someone she knows. Yeah, probably. And people were saying, take it to the police department. They can find out where it was purchased or maybe who purchased it or whatever. I haven't seen one of those. So probably another reason why you don't put your purse down. You don't put things down for people to have access to. So pretty sad. Anyway, okay, moving on. That was just a little bit of information there for you. Let's talk about this weekend. Here we have the faux first lady and Dr. Faux Cha-Ching together at a church. It's a mega church. They're visiting the Jab or badge, I should say, clinic, as protesters call for his firing. So they went to this big Baptist church in Manhattan so that people can get their badges there. And what you know is that the Faux administration is doing a lot of that lately. They're trying to get people to they're trying to get the churches, the church leaders, the pastors to talk their people into getting the jab. They want to use them to get people to get the jab. Now we already know that about Franklin Graham. You know, he was bought off by them to go out and tell people that's what they should do. But it looks like they're trying to get like individual churches, get those pastors to talk to people to convince them. Because they said, well, you know, if your pastor gets it, people are going to trust you. So go out, you get it, and people will follow. Judy said, well, she wears a red hat. They both are badged, but they continue to wear the veil. This is a reason why people are not listening to the message. Well, yeah, I mean, they don't even know why they're doing it anymore, Brian. I think they just, you know, other than their long-term goal of compliance, there's no reason for them to do anything that they're doing. But they can't help themselves because they're that way. Okay. This next thing I can't show you because this article you'll have to read for yourself. I'm going to put the link here, and I will tell you that when you go here, they may ask for your email address. It's free. This is a good website to get information from every single day. Hey, Ken. Robin said, I don't follow any man. Exactly. And Sally says, I was so disappointed in Franklin. Yep. So there's the false prophet will cause many to worship the image of the beast. Yes, Leo, Pastor Leo. And let me just tell you something. I saw a video today. Hey, Wayne, don't look on your car for the tracker. A video of what they call the giant. And it is a life-size, I want to say, image that you can turn into anyone. So, for example, you can turn it into your celebrity that you want to worship, or your football player, or your basketball player, or yourself, you know? And I don't know, can you just imagine? I know this is silly, but can you imagine like turning it into the image of the beast or something like that? Isn't that crazy? So anyway, that was a pretty frightening YouTube video. And if I remember it, I might try to show it tomorrow. And so, you know, it just preparing you for what's coming down the pike. Anyway, what the link that I just put up there for you talks about considering the vaccine adverse events reporting system. It claims it's in the article that it has logged, that VAERS system has logged more deaths following the badge than all available jabs combined from the mid-1997 until the end of 2013, a period of 15.5 years. Okay, so keep that in mind when people are trying to pressure you to take it. You need to ask yourself, why am I being pressured to take this when, if that's true, if any of it is true, that's horrendous. Do they have one for Jesus sold? Yeah. Well, Melanie, not your Jesus, perhaps. Let's see. What if an image of the Lord? Yeah. They won't have that, Judy, because that image is trying to be replaced every day. Understand? You do understand that. That's what transhumanism is all about. So that won't be an image that will be up there. And we don't need an image, Judy or Melanie. We don't need an image. That's the good thing about being a believer. You don't need an image to worship. Okay, now here is something. This is from Steve Cortez. Wait, so you're saying that he called it fascist Gnome MD is a liar? This is from the Daily Mail. Dr. Fo Cha-ching briefed world leaders that The virus could have escaped from a particular lab last spring, former FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb reveals, despite his public insistence, it came from a bat. So everything is kind of coming full circle as they're circling back, as Saki says. Anyway, all right, so it's Bible time. Remember the video at West Point? He said they could put an image in bacteria. They can put an image in a lot of different things, just a lot of different things. Okay, now we finished the other day. We were in the book of Esther, and somebody had wanted to go in Habakkuk. So that's where we're going to start today. We're in chapter 1. So I hope you stick around, those people who are here. I hope you stick around for the Bible because it's a really, really good thing to know, especially in the days and times of which we live. Okay, Habakkuk, chapter 1. The burden which the prophet Habakkuk saw. The prophet's question, "O Lord, how long shall I cry, and you will not hear? Even cry out to you, violence, and you will not save? Why do you show me iniquity and cause me to see trouble? For plundering and violence for me, there is strife and contention arises. Therefore the law is powerless, and justice never goes forth. For the wicked surround the righteous, therefore perverse judgment proceeds." I don't know, sounds familiar to me. Does it to you? The Lord's reply, "Look among the nations and watch. Be utterly astounded, for I will work a work in your days, which you would not believe, though it were told you. For indeed I am raising up the Chaldeans, a bitter and hasty nation, which marches through the breadth of the earth to possess dwelling places that are not there. They are terrible and dreadful, and their dignity proceed from themselves. Their horses also are swifter than leopards, and more fierce than evening wolves. Their charges charge ahead. The cavalry comes from afar. They fly as the eagle that hastens to eat. They all come for violence. Their faces are set like the east wind. They gather captives like sand. They scoff at kings and princes and scorn by them. They deride every stronghold, for they heap up earthen mounds and seize it. Then his mind changes and he transgresses. He commits offense, ascribing this power to his God. The prophet's second question, "Are you not from everlasting, O Lord my God, my Holy One? We shall not die. O Lord, you have appointed them for judgment. O Rock, you have marked them for correction. You are of purer eyes than to behold evil and cannot look on wickedness. Why do you look on those who deal treacherously? And hold your tongue when the wicked devours a person more righteous than he? Why do you make men like fish of the sea, like creeping things that have no ruler over them? They take up all of them with a hook. They catch them in their net and gather them in their dragnet. Therefore they rejoice and are glad. Therefore they sacrifice to their net and burn incense to their dragnet, because by them their share is sumptuous and their food plentiful. Shall they therefore empty their net and continue to slay nations without pity?" Chapter, "The just shall live by faith. I will stand my watch and set myself on the rampart and watch to see what he will say to me and what I will answer when I am corrected. The just live by faith." Then the Lord answered me and said, "Write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it will speak and it will not lie. Though it tarries, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Behold the proud, his soul is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Woe to the wicked! Indeed, because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, and he does not stay at home, because he enlarges his desire hell. And he is like death and cannot be satisfied. He gathers to himself all nations and heaps up for himself all peoples. Will not all these take up a proverb against me and against him, and a taunting riddle against him, and say, Woe to him who increases what is not his? How long? And to him who loads himself with many pledges, will not your creditors rise up suddenly? Will they not awaken who oppress you, and you will become their booty? Because you have plundered many nations, all the remnants of the people shall plunder you, because of men's blood and the violence of the land and the city and all who dwell in it. Woe to him who covets evil gain for his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of disaster. You give shameful counsel to your house, cutting off many peoples, and sin against your soul. For the stone will cry out from the wall, and the beam from the timbers will answer it. Woe to him who builds a town with bloodshed, who establishes a city by iniquity. Behold, is it not of the Lord of hosts that the peoples labor to feed the fire, and nations weary themselves in vain? For the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. Woe to him who gives drink to his neighbor, pressing him to your bottle, even to make him drunk, that you may look on his nakedness. You are filled with shame instead of glory. You also drink and be exposed as uncircumcised. The cup of the Lord's right hand will be turned against you, and utter shame will be on your glory. For the violence done to Lebanon will cover you, and the plunder of beasts which made them afraid, because of men's blood and the violence of the land and the city, and all who dwell in it. What profit is the image that its makers should carve it? Molded image, a teacher of lies, that the maker of its mold should trust in it to make mute idols? Woe to him who says to wood, awake, to silent stone, arise, it shall teach. Behold, it is overlaid with gold and silver, yet in it there is no breath at all. But the Lord is his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him. The prophet's prayer, a prayer of Habakkuk, the prophet of Sigionoth. O Lord, I have heard your speech and was afraid. O Lord, revive your work in the midst of the years. In the years, make it known. In wrath, remember mercy. God came from Teman, the Holy One from Mount Paran, Selah. His glory covered the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. His brightness was like the light. He had rays flashing from his hand, and there his power was hidden. Before him went pestilence, and fever followed at his feet. He stood and measured the earth. He looked and startled the nations, and the everlasting mountains were scattered. The perpetual hills bowed. His ways are everlasting. I saw the tents of Cushan in affliction. The curtains of the land of Median trembled. O Lord, were you displeased with the rivers? Was your anger against the rivers? Was your wrath against the sea, that you rode on your horses, your chariots of salvation? Your bow made quite ready. Both were sworn over your arrows, Selah. You divide the earth with rivers. The mountains saw you and trembled. The overflowing of the water passed by. The deep uttered its voice and lifted its hand on high. The sun and moon stood still in the habitation. At the light of your arrows they went, at the shining of your glittering spear. You marched through the land in indignation. You trampled the nations in anger. You went forth for the salvation of your people, for salvation with your anointed. You struck the head from the house of the wicked. You struck the head from the house of the wicked by laying bare from foundation to neck, Selah. You thrust through with his own arrows the head of his villages. They came out like a whirlwind to scatter me. Their rejoicing was like feasting on the poor in secret. You walked through the sea with your horses to the heap of great waters. When I heard my body tremble, my lips quivered at the voice, rottenness entered my bones, and I trembled in myself that I might rest in the day of trouble. When he comes up to the people, he will invade them with his troops. Though the fig tree may not blossom, nor fruit be on the vines, though the labor of the olive may fall, and the fields yield no food, though the flock may be cut off from the fold, and there be no herd in the stalls, I will rejoice in the Lord. I will joy in the God of my salvation. The Lord God is my strength. He will make my feet like deer's feet, and he will make me walk on my high hills. To the chief musician with my stringed instruments. There you go. So that was Habakkuk. It was very short. I don't think it's your internet dying. I'm only hearing every other word. I check another live video and it works perfect. Wow. Have a great day. Bonnie had an appointment. By faith, keep the faith. Absolutely, Pastor Leo. Your internet, yeah. I rebuke you, Satan, in the name of Jesus. Yes. Um, you're very welcome, Lynn, and we'll have a new Bible chapter, a book, that we're in tomorrow. May the Lord bless you and keep you all. Thank you. If you want to hear some great services from yesterday, JD Farag was off the charts. He may say something in there that you don't like, depending upon your political affiliation. Pastor Jack Hibbs was very good yesterday. We were in Romans. And also, I don't know. There were so many yesterday, I can't even. Pastor Steve Smotherman in New Mexico was good from Saturday, and I think they showed it yesterday, but I don't know. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, Brian C. You too. God bless you, Susan. You too, Debbie. Thank you, Susan. Hope everyone has a blessed day. You are welcome, Sally, and thank you. Thank you for reading that book, everyone. Have a great day. Love, Sissy, and you are welcome. God bless everyone. And please share this so that the word gets out. And you're going to have like a minute to talk with each other, and then I will log out at that point. See you tomorrow. God bless.